Now I want to set up a notation so that things are easier to verify. So V vector space, K vector space, and we have a U subspace, K subspace, and then I denote V by U. This is a quotient set. The elements of this are precisely the cosets of U as an additive subgroup of V. So that is x plus VU, and this x plus U I will write it x bar, and now x is varying in V. Note that some of them may be equal, because if the difference belong to U, then x bar equal to y bar. And also note that this is also same as U plus x, left coset equal to right coset, because we are in a abelian group V plus abelian group, and this U plus is a subgroup of this, which is normal. So this left coset is same as right coset, or even visibility is seen, because x plus U is by definition, you look at all those elements x plus U, U varies in U. So that is a left, that is a coset. This is a left coset, this is a right coset, but for any x in V, these two cosets are equal, and that I am denoting by x bar. X bar is a coset, that is what one has to remember, and x bar is also called, I will keep calling x bar, is equal to the residue class of the element x modulo U. This terminology is inherited from Z to Z mod n, residue class modulo n. So the same reason I call this x bar as the residue class of x modulo U. Okay, now what is the map V to V by U? This is the quotient map. Any x here, go to x bar. So the fibers of this map are precisely the cosets, and this map is surjective, that is clear. The problem is I want to check now whether this map is k-linear, but before I check k-linearity, I need to ensure that there is addition here and there is a scalar multiplication here. So this becomes a vector space, and then I want to check this map is k-linear. So let me define therefore the addition on this V by U and also scalar multiplication, and obviously it will come from the addition of V and the scalar multiplication of V. And what do we want? K-linearity means x plus y, first of all x plus y, by definition this is going to x plus y whole bar. And what we are asking is, when is this equal to x bar plus y bar, for instance, and we are defining this plus. So obviously the definition is clear, we only need to check that it is well defined. That means it does not depend on the representative of this coset. So let us define addition on V by U by x bar plus y bar equal to x plus y, add it in V and take the bar of that. And remember, bar means you are taking the cosets. And also you can define scalar multiplication as take any scalar A times x bar, define it to be first, take a scalar multiplication of A on this element x in V and take the bar of that. And what we need to check that these operations what we defined are well defined. That means they do not depend on the representative class of x bar and y bar. So, what does that mean? Let us write down what it means. That means if x bar equal to x prime bar and y bar equal to y prime bar. So, where x and y, x prime are element in V and y prime are element in V, and what does this equality mean? Then we should check, this is the main problem to check, that x plus y whole bar equal to x bar plus x prime plus y prime bar, and also we have to check for any scalar a x bar is same as a x prime bar, this whole bar here. Then only these definitions will make sense, they do not depend on the representative of the equivalence classes. So, what does this mean? This means the difference x minus x prime belong to the subspace U, and this means the difference y minus y prime belong to the subspace U. And what do we want to check? This checking means the difference, that is x plus y minus x prime plus y prime, they belong to U. This is what we want, and we have given this. Well, if you stare at it, what do? You add these equations. If you add these two equations, these belong to U, these belong to U, then their sum will also belong to U. X minus x prime plus y minus y prime, that also belong to you because it is a subspace. But this, when you rearrange it, you put x and y together, you get this, and take minus out, and this together, you get this term. So, very easy. So, the check that the sum that we have defined on V by U is well defined. Now, for this it is similar. For this, now I want to check for any A, this condition means what? This condition means the difference A x minus A x prime, this belongs to U, but this is same as A times x minus x, x minus x prime, and I have given x minus x prime is in U and A is arbitrary scalar, and because U is a subspace, this times A is also there, that means this is U. So, it is obvious. So, we have checked that these two operations are well defined. So, now they look at the quotient map. So, the quotient map I am denoting by pi. Pi is a map from V to V by U. This is a natural quotient map, that is x going to x bar, or sometimes x bar also I will write it pi x. And I need to check that we have checked this is well defined, I need to check pi is k linear. Now I have two vector spaces, this and this, and I want to check that it is k linear. That means I have to check pi of x plus y equal to pi x plus pi y, or in this notation it is, this is x bar plus y bar and this is x plus y bar, and I want to check this equality. But well, that is how we have defined it. We do not have to check anything because this is how the sum in the V by U is defined with this. Similarly, we have to check that pi of Ax equal to A pi x, but this is in a bar notation, it is Ax bar and this is Ax whole bar, but that is how we have defined this scalar multiplication. So, this is correct, this is correct, this is correct, this is correct. So, therefore, pi is k linear. So, now we have the natural map is a k linear map. Now, we will start comparing what happens to their dimension, what happened to their basis and so on and so on. That is what we do it. Okay. So, here I will just make sure that with these operations, with the operations defined on the quotient space V by U, namely we have defined plus and scalar multiplication V by U is a K vector space. And pi is K linear. For this we need to check that the scalar multiplication distributes over and this and that, those 4 properties of the first lecture of the definition of a vector space. That I am not going to do it here. Pi K linear we have already checked. So, our operation is so very well defined that this map is K linear map, and also it is clear that pi is surjective. This pi also I will sometimes call it, pi is called projection of V onto V by U. Okay. Now, first of all we need to find a kernel of this map. It is surjective we know, and we want to find the kernel. So, kernel of pi. What is 0 in V by U? The element 0 is precisely 0 bar is what? 0 bar is by definition it is U plus U, which is U. So, 0 bar is precisely U. This is the 0 element. So, kernel of pi is by definition all those x in V such that pi of x is 0, 0 bar. But this is same as all those, so this is same as x bar is 0 bar. That means x belong to U. So, this is same as x in V such that x belongs to U. This is nothing but U. So, U is the kernel of pi, and therefore, what we will get a formula. So, we know now I want to apply the rank theorem. Rank theorem says the dimension of, I want to apply rank theorem to this map pi V to V by U. For this I am assuming V is finite dimensional. We are assuming V finite dimensional. Then we know dimension of V equal to dimension of the kernel plus dimension of the image. So, dimension of V equal to dimension of the kernel pi plus dimension of the image, but image of pi is everybody because pi is surjective. This is V by U. Dimension is always over K. And kernel pi we know it is U. So, dimension U, and this is dimension of V by U. So, we have this nice formula, dimension V equal to dimension U plus dimension of this new quotient space. This is, this V by U is also called a quotient space by U. V by U, the quotient space of V by U. And now, if I want the formula for dimension of V by U, I can shift this U to the other side. So, dimension of V by U equal to dimension V minus dimension U. And remember, this is nothing but the codimension of U in V. Some people also call this V by U as a factor vector space or quotient vector space or residue class space. So, they are all these names are same for the same V by U. Okay. So, I want to write a couple of statements which will be very useful for studying more linear maps later, for example. So, for example, what happens to the homomorphism, arbitrary homomorphism. So, what happens? So, I want to analyze the following situation. V, so let V to V prime F be a K-linear map. And suppose I have a U subspace given, U is a subspace of V, subspace. Then definitely you have a linear map here, V to V by U, this quotient space of, this is a quotient space of V by U, and this map is pi. Now, how are you going to compare this? That is what I want to analyze. When can I define map from here to there? So, I am looking for a map from here to here, so that this diagram is commutative. That means, when I go from V to V prime by F, I should be able to go from here to here like this composition. So, that is precisely the content. It may not exist always. So, under what condition it exists, and if F is injective, is this map injective, F is surjective, is this map injective, and so on and so on. All these topics comes under homomorphism theorems or also isomorphism theorems. So, I want to state them very precisely. The proofs are, once you state them very precisely, the proofs will come obviously. So, okay. So, a little more general situation than this. So, I want to state it as a theorem. So, theorem, let F is from V to V prime and G is from V to V bar be K-linear maps. V prime, V bar, they are all K vector spaces, and I have two linear maps with the condition that kernel of G is contained in kernel of F. It will be clear how this condition will be used once we write the statement. And let us also assume G is surjective. Then there exists a unique map from where to where? From that map I will call it F bar, from V bar to V prime, such that if I go V to V to V prime, and no, if I go from first apply F bar, that is from V bar to V prime. No, first apply G, sorry, G, V to V bar and F bar, which is V bar to V prime. So, this is this composition. This goes from V to V bar first, that is G, and then V bar to V prime, this is F. So, this is F bar composition G. On the other hand, I have also given map F here to here. These two maps are same. So, the statement is there exists a unique map from V bar to V prime such that F bar compose G is same as F. So, before I go on, so first of all this settle this problem. See, because what will I do? I want pi is given to us. So, this is my G in the statement. So, what condition I need to have a map from here to here, namely the kernel of G, which I know it is pi, which is kernel of pi is U, and this kernel should be contained in kernel of F, then only there will be a map here, right. So, this is condition will ensure that this map is well defined. So, this I have stated in a general maps here. So, such that this I want to write down, this means the diagram is commutative. That means the diagram like this, V to V prime, this is F, this is G, and this is the map we are defining. This is, I call it F bar. This diagram is commutative diagram. That means from here, when there is only one possibility from here to here, namely F. From here to here there is another possibility here. So, this is G compose F bar, and it can only happen here. You see, there is no other, there are 3 points here, but this is only possibility two ways. Here there is no possibility, here also no possibility. So, we want to check this, so that existence of F bar we have to write. Okay. After we prove the existence of F bar, we will see. Actually, this condition will prompt you what to define F bar. So, I want to define F bar, and this should satisfy. So, that means for every x, so proof, for every x in V, I have given this f x. This is an element in V prime, and also I have given Gx, Gx also I have given, that is an element here. And I want to define this F bar of this, whatever it is, that should be this, because that is the demand. So, of course, I can define it like this, but for that I need every element of V bar should come from V. That precisely means G is surjective. That was our assumption here. See, G is surjective, and here also pi is surjective. Not only that, but we have to check little bit thing, that suppose somebody may have two elements. Surjectivity means that given any x bar here, given any y here, y is coming from x, but it may happen that the same y is coming from two of them. So, it may happen that g of x also equal to g of x prime, but then we will have to check that f bar of g of x is same as f bar of g of x prime. This means what? This means this is equivalent to checking f bar of gx minus gx prime is 0, that is because f is linear, f bar is linear. That means this should be in the kernel. No, okay. So, but this, if you want to say that it is well defined, no. sorry, you can do it much quicker. See, we want to check these are well defined, means this equal to f(x) and this equal to f(x). So, that means we need to check that the kernel of f should contain kernel of g. Yes, so g, see x and x prime go to the same y. So, so that means g of x minus x prime is 0, it goes to 0, because this is gx minus gx prime and both are y. So, that means this means x minus x prime belong to kernel of g, that is given, and kernel of g is contained in kernel of f, that is the given condition. So, when this happens, f should be equal, and once f's are equal, this is equal, this is well defined. So, this condition I will just color it here. This condition here make sure that the map we defined by this formula is well defined. It is defined because g is surjective and well defined because kernel g is contained in kernel f and g is surjective. Surjectivity define this, and this condition checks it is well defined, it does not depend on this x we choose it. Okay, so that proves this. So, obviously, you can apply this to the map pi. Pi is surjective and kernel of pi is u, and then that you need a condition that whenever we have a linear map whose kernel contains given u, then it will go on to v by u. So, let me write this explicitly as a corollary. So, corollary, if f is a linear map from v to v prime, k linear map, u is a subspace of v, then and if u is contained in kernel of f, then there exists a unique k linear map from where now? From v by u to v prime, that I have called it f bar, such that pi compose f bar is same as f. So, in the diagram if I have to draw, v is here, v prime is here, this is f, v by u is our quotient space, this is our pi map, and then I am defining a map here, that is f bar, so that this diagram is commutative in this equality. This is very useful, that means you are passing out onto the u and looking at the new linear map. This is very useful because in some practical problem when you are proving something by induction on the dimension, and then you will choose a subspace u and you pass on to this v by u, but to choose that you have to choose with this condition, and then you can pass it on, then you get a new linear map. So, that this linear map is connected to the original linear map f by this diagram. This is very useful, and we can add something more to this statement. So, moreover I will add it now, this is in the theorem. So, going back to theorem, I will draw only the diagram from the theorem. So, v to v prime, this is a linear map f and g is given, this is surjective here, g, sometimes surjectivity is also denoted like this double arrow here, this means g is surjective. And then we know that when do such a map exist, f bar. F bar exists with this diagram commutative, that means G compose F bar is same as F. That is only when the condition is kernel of G should be contained in kernel of F. This is important. But now I am adding something more to this. So, moreover, if, moreover, not if, moreover, the image of this new map is same as image of F. Image of F bar is image of F. And what is the kernel of the new map? Kernel of F bar is the image of the kernel here, G of the kernel of F. Kernel of F is a subset here, subspace here. So, you see the new map, we know its image and kernel very well in terms of the image of F and kernel of F. These equalities will be very useful again. So, let us check them. So, well, this is, it follows from this equality, because if somebody is in the image, then it is f of x, but then the f of x is f bar of g of x. So, it is in the image of f bar. This equality just says this immediately. Now, this one also is coming from here. See, suppose somebody is in the kernel of f bar. Suppose somebody is, let us take this side, g of somebody in the kernel, and I want to check it is in the kernel of f bar. So, I apply f bar to that. So, f bar of that will be g of that, but this is f of that, and therefore, it's, and same thing converse. So, this is also immediate from this equality. So, this method of inducing passing a map from a original vector space to the quotient space is very nice process. It keeps track of the image, kernels, etc., and also it will be the dimension drops. So, I will stop here.